You know, Zach, this is something we talked about before we came on. This is off the recruiting path, but I think it's interesting to note the career that Justin Jackson has put together. Looking at three consecutive 13 to 1,400 yard seasons, he comes into a senior campaign, and I think those people outside of Northwestern, certainly the Big Ten, or unless you're a college football junkie, like some of the people that watch these segments, maybe not completely aware that we're looking at one of the more prolific careers in the history of the Big Ten at running back, a guy that if he turns out another season based on what he's done previously, just another Justin Jackson type season, he's a top 5 all-time rusher in the history of maybe the most prestigious league in college football.
Yeah, there's nothing more that can be said than Justin Jackson that hasn't already been said by me. I absolutely love the guy. Fantastic off the field, and you mentioned on the field as well. So consistent. I mean, this is a Northwestern program that lost its first 2 games this year. The guy that is always there, win, loss, tie, whatever. Obviously, there are no ties. The guy is just unbelievably consistent. Just churns out yards like no other, whether it's 4 yards in a cloud of dust or whether he's ripping off huge gains like he did against Pitt in the Pinstripe Bowl. Just an incredibly impressive guy, fantastic runner, very patient. I don't know if he'll be a great NFL running back. He doesn't quite have the speed, but when you look at college running backs, he's been perfect for Northwestern's system, the epitome of consistency, and it's so frustrating to stop a guy who seemingly always gets 4 yards. If you churn out 4 yards a play, you'll never get off the field. So really impressed by him. And like you mentioned, going into his senior campaign, should definitely become Northwestern's all-time leading rusher and won't catch Ron Dane, obviously, but still could have a very good shot to be, like you mentioned, a top 5 Big Ten running back.
Zach, you mentioned the Pinstripe Bowl, and I was glad to see him break out, have a big game there because Northwestern, a bit of an underdog in that game, get off to a rough start, give up the quick score, and then Justin Jackson takes over, runs for 225, something in that range, has the one long run. You mentioned maybe his lack of speed on the next level, and I think we saw it on that, what would have been like a 99-yard touchdown run. Somebody catch him, but at the same time, had a remarkable game, and you know that for a team like Northwestern that rarely probably catches the national stage because there are other games on, that if you want to watch college football, you're watching the Pinstripe Bowl at that time, so you know you've got the national audience, and he was able to pull through and show what he could really do. So that was good to see, and the team come back from a difficult start to finish 5-4 in the Big Ten, get the bowl victory, finish above 500 at 7-6.
Yeah, big important win for this team. You look at Northwestern, I believe came into that game 2-11 all time in bowl games. So 1, to be able to win a bowl game was really nice. 2, to be able to send off a pretty accomplished senior class. Interestingly, that's the only senior class that has ever won 2 bowl games. So you think back to the 2012 Gator Bowl as well. Obviously, when you're a program with only 3, bowl wins in your history, and the other one's the 1949 Rose Bowl, it's not like you're going to get too many classes with 2 bowl wins. But you're absolutely right. It was nice to see them battle back. Obviously, Jackson is a guy pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of people know him, but to see him do that on a national stage was just awesome.
And maybe we're stretching here just a little, Zach, but hang with me. You got the transitive property national championship and Big Ten championship with the wins over Pitt that translate to wins over Penn State and Clemson. So
exactly.
You can also make that claim. All right, Northwestern, with a typical recruiting class, it looks to fit their system and what they do in developing players and competing in the Big Ten Western Division. We bring in Zach Peerless from Inside NU to always help us out with the Wildcats. Zach, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.